Autism Spoke.
Autism Spoke.
Were you listening?
Were you listening?
What are you doing Friday? You want to...
One in 110, according to the CDC. Autism is very scary right now because it's becoming so prevalent. I think because it looks so scary and because it looks like a tantrum in the middle of the grocery store, we just go, bad mom. You don't know that.
It's not a disease. They can't catch it by being around them.
Kids with autism don't have like a blue puzzle piece tattooed on their forehead to say, hey, this kid has autism.
You know, it's just a lot of work. You know, you have to watch them more than you do like a typical child.
Because of the three triads of deficit, when you talk about autism, you're looking at social communication, you're looking at emotional regulation, and you're looking at transitioning and the ability to transfer skills across environments. So essentially, if you look at the whole picture, we can all put ourselves on that triangle and we can all find deficits within ourselves. So theoretically, we all have some degree of autism, which actually means into oneself or trapped in oneself.
That's the main problem with it is, they can't read body language. They have trouble, distinguishing other people's feelings. They obsess on, topics that they're interested in. They don't know when to quit talking about it.
The high functioning child with autism basically has less of a deficit. They're more communicative, they're more able to adapt, but at the same time, every once in a while, you'll see that slip. A child that's low functioning may be nonverbal. They may have some comorbid intellectual disabilities. They may have meltdowns if you say no, or if they can't be the first in line, or there are certain triggers for children that will set them into meltdowns because that emotional regulation is not where it should be.
Well, the way that autism is diagnosed, it's as of now, there's basically autism is, say, a table, and there's 4 legs to the table. Autism, Asperger's, PDD-NOS, which is pervasive developmental disorder not otherwise specified, and then the 4th is called Rett syndrome, which affects girls. When my son was 22 months old, he had not been diagnosed yet, but he had already gone through his regression. We were actually up in the mountains and in Tennessee. We were walking into a restaurant, and my son was having a meltdown. It was a new environment, all new stimulation, and he was screaming. And we were walking in, and there was an older couple walking out, and my sister was behind me, and she heard them, and they said, oh, I cannot believe they let that child act like that in public. That's unfortunately what a lot of parents of kids with autism deal with and put up with every day. I wish that people knew that autism wasn't one size fits all, that it's not always, a lot of people think of Rain Man when they think of autism. I wish that people knew that autism, they really understood, they didn't just know, but they understood what it means when they say it's a spectrum disorder, that it can be someone who can talk and carry a conversation with you, but has, has other issues that are linked to autism. It's not just about if they can talk or not.
I've known Fred since 1997, and I didn't know what autism was until the diagnosis when he had gone to a psychiatrist. Noticing some things that he was doing that I guess basically kind of cemented his diagnosis as being autistic. He's what they call mild to moderate. He's not, his is not extensive. If he can't communicate with you, he has this talent of drawing, and he would draw a picture of, if you can't understand what he's saying, he would draw a picture just from memory to let you know what he wants. He has to have things a certain way. He doesn't like prints or plaids in his room. You see, everything is plain. It's solid. He has a comforter with a print background, but he tends to have it on the solid part. I put pictures in his room. He's taken all the pictures down. The only thing he has there is a calendar because he's set on dates and events. Safety is an issue because when he sees something that he wants, he's just going to jump out the van and he's going to shoot across the parking lot. But I ask him safety first, and he'll wait for you sometimes. We just know that that's what he does, and we respect that.
I believe that people should know that children with autism just need things differently, and that's okay. Just because a child isn't behaving the way you think it should does not mean that it's wrong.
Parents judge with other kids as misbehaving, not understanding that most of the time it's not something that a child can control. When they're in a grocery store and they're overstimulated by the lights and the food and the noises and everything that they're not used to seeing, you know, they react. Judging parents that have kids that are acting up in public, you never know what the whole situation is. And I do wish that parents had more compassion towards families that have children with behavioral issues.
I found out that people are important. Trust is important. Once they trust you and know that you're not going to harm them, then they can be your best ally.
Autism Spoke.
Autism Spoke.
Autism Spoke.
Were you listening?
Were you listening?
Were you listening?